Greetings, Sentinels fans! I've done a lot of talking about the Enhanced Edition of Sentinels, but what is this newfound Definitive Edition? Well, stick with me, and I'll talk about it. I do realize I'm at least half a year late with this one, but better late than never. If you are familiar with Enhanced Edition, then I'm probably going to tread some of the same ground as this video. Sentinels of the Multiverse Definitive Edition is a remake of the game we all know and love, taking the same gameplay loop of the Enhanced Edition and refining it to make it work even better. Now, the first thing you might notice is the change in art styles. More specifically, the variety of styles present. The arts in this game are made in a way to simulate different art styles from different eras and creators. You can see some Golden Age styles, gritty 90s styles, the limited colors, the full range colors, realistic bodies, and slightly exaggerated bodies. The character cards still look like how we've come to expect from Sentinels, but for a Sentinels nerd like me, it is cool to see the history of this world. Especially since all the art for this game was made from scratch. Remember, there are no comics for this world. Everything was made for this game. I've come to enjoy all the new arts. It's a lot of fun to see the same cards given a new coat of paint, so to say. And it's just kinda cool to see all the updated stuff and... Okay, the art is not an 100% improvement, but I do still like it overall. As long as we do get a proper Mr. Chomps rendition at some point in this game. Next, you may see some new changes to the system. The equipment keyword has been replaced by the item keyword, probably to save on text space. Aside from that though, we see a bunch of new code words given to various common actions in the game, and most of them are fairly intuitive. You have Discover, where you reveal cards from the required deck until you have found the necessary cards and put them into play, shuffling the other cards back into the deck. You can see older effects like Arsenal Access in this one. You have Collect, where you search your deck for the indicated type of card, regardless of where it actually is in the deck, and put it into your hand. It's sort of like Absolute Zero's old onboard modular installation, before the extra card play, of course. Then you have Salvage, which is the same idea as Collect, except you're grabbing stuff from your trash instead and putting it into your hand. This is a bit like Tempest's old Reclamation card, but, directly into your hand. Then you have Summon, which allows you to search your deck, trash, or both for specific cards and put them into play. These are like the old impromptu inventions and modular realignments. You get all the things you need right now, no wait involved. And of course, for all of these effects, when you search through your deck, you do have to shuffle it. Then you have the keyword Bury, where you take the targeted card and stuff it underneath its respective deck. So think of this one like Chrono Ranger's No Executions card. Then you have reaction cards. Cards that activate when a hero would be dealt damage, but unlike an Enhanced Edition where the effect happens after being hit, reactions take place after all modifiers are applied, but before the hit lands. Meaning that if circumstances are right, you can actually avoid the hit altogether. You can only use each reaction once per turn though. In the upcoming Rook City Renegades expansion, they also added the Surprise keyword, where if this card enters your hand, it goes right into play. As of now, the only card that does this in Enhanced Edition is Idealist Monster of the Id. But this can make some negative or just kinda rough cards possible in hero decks. But look at all the different characters. You will see that they all have been changed. One of the things you will note as you explore the new decks is that Greater Than Games was primarily trying to make the game go faster and make the heroes seem more powerful. To that end, the amount of time it takes for heroes to get set up has been drastically reduced almost across the board. Card draws are up, card plays are sometimes giving out like candy, many heroes have been given support skills when they didn't used to. The Discover, Summon, and Collect keywords are used very frequently, and even if your build is not maxed out, there is still plenty of wild abilities out there you can use. Many heroes who struggled to develop an identity in the Enhanced Edition have been giving some very fun updates. Everyone has gotten a nice power boost too. Thank you Definitive Edition for making Captain Cosmic fun to play. Generally, making the heroes more powerful has allowed them to play with things a bit more, and finding more interesting ways to dish out that damage. But of course, with all the heroes boosted, the villains gain some threat to compensate. Discover effects, reveal and play effects, and the variety of threats has grown even further. It was always a lovely thing that different villains feel like completely different fights, but that becomes even more apparent in Definitive Edition. Most villains are given more opportunity to throw more of their decks on the field and dish out more damage in a small amount of time. Faster hero setups have allowed for more frequent setup destruction with less annoyance to players, especially with some heroes where breaking their stuff might be neutral or actually a good thing. By contrast, environments seem to have been made more neutral in general, as they much more frequently hit villains or help the heroes than they used to. But they are also harder to control. You see, in the Enhanced Edition, oftentimes you will see ongoing destruction and environment destruction in the same effect. Not always, but frequently. Most Enhanced Edition heroes have this ability in their decks somewhere, to the point where it's actually quite unusual to have a hero that doesn't have one of these cards. In Definitive Edition, there are no longer cards that give you choice of ongoing or environment cards, and cards that specifically target the environment are exceedingly rare now. However, this is mitigated by the fact that environment cards now go by the same rules as heroes and villains, wherein they now have keywords indicating one-shots, ongoings, or targets. So if you have ongoing destruction and the card you want to blow up is an ongoing card, you can still do that. However, if you want to get rid of a target, you better start punching. The lack of ability to instantly remove environment cards goes a long way towards making them much more impactful. But the speed in which a game progresses does mitigate this a bit. You see, when you increase power scales across the board without increasing hit point totals to match, you will find the game goes much quicker. At least in terms of turn count, if not minute count. Considering there is more going on in a Definitive Edition game than an Enhanced Edition one, it may still take the same amount of time, but my old estimate of 8 to 10 rounds a game for Enhanced Edition has been reduced to around 4 to 6 rounds, almost reducing the turn count by half. Though, again, each villain is a very different fight, so your mileage can vary on that. Similar amount of content per fight, just a smaller time frame. And I do understand if you prefer Enhanced Edition if you want a more languidly paced game. This one does go fast. But wait, there's more! Right in the original box, you will have access to 2 different variants of each hero character, allowing that fun variance to play styles right from the beginning, and more variants promised down the line. But even better, every villain, in addition to their advanced rules, has an event and a challenge event. Regular events feel like Enhanced Edition's challenge rules, where a stock effect is added to the villains. The twist here though is that when you win an event, you may use the flip side of that event for future event games. Each of these give you the option of 2 single-use effects that will benefit your heroes. You can only choose one and use that effect once per game, but they can be very potent. So in a way, events are challenge rules, but also a soft campaign mode. The individual event or critical event will tell you how many event bonuses you can bring in. Now, critical events are a bit different. These are closer to Enhanced Edition's villain variants. The bad guys get a completely different villain character card, but with the same deck. Now, with how they are set up, the villain character card doesn't flip. You also don't get an event bonus for completing these, but you do get the bragging rights, like any other fight in this game. But still, every single villain has a variant now. Extra fun to be had with all of them. And finally, how much stuff is in the box? Well, there are 12 heroes in the core game. The full Freedom 5 team, the full Prime Wardens team, Unity, and Raw. You will note that unlike Enhanced Edition, Visionary is not in the core set. She will be coming in later. We have 6 villains, Blade, Dawn, Voss, and Omnitron, of course, but we also have Matriarch and Akash Buddha. And they each have their critical events. Mad Bomber, Blade, Sunrise Dawn, Censor, Cosmotron, Matriarch, and Akash Mecha. Censor is going to be your first indication that critical events aren't necessarily going to be the same character, but they do follow a similar theme. We have 6 environments: Insula Primalis, Megalopolis, the Mars Base, Atlantis, the Freedom Tower, and Magmaria. That's right, 12 heroes, 6 villains, 6 environments. That's a lot of fun in store for you. The upcoming Rook City Renegades promises 6 more heroes, including a never-before-seen hero named Alpha. Yep, we're bringing in the werewolves. And 9 villains and its own set of environments. So many fun things to play with. I hope this shows why I'm excited for this stuff. Expect more Definitive Edition stuff in the near future. Until then, take care, friends. Turns out I did not leave my phone downstairs, it was actually under my pillow. Refining it to make it work better. Better. You have Collect, where you search your deck for the indicated. And I didn't actually take the time to look this one up, so here we go. The Laptop of Doom. Regular events feel like Enhanced Edition's challenge. Challenge is what brings us together today.